Quantum Enlightenment Study Guide. Quantum Physics Parallels with Lessons of A Course in Miracles, the Workbook. Introduction. Workbook. As a practice to discover the all-encompassing nature of being love, we use the lessons of A Course in Miracles. Nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. For more information, go to the iwihub.com website. Quantum physics. So why also use quantum physics concepts as support for doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles? We use them in quantum enlightenment as metaphors or as scientific parables to illustrate the content of the undoing principles inherent in the lessons. Quantum Enlightenment Part 1. Lesson 1 of A Course in Miracles. Nothing I see means anything. From the review, Lesson 51, Lesson 1. Nothing I see means anything. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go by realizing it has no meaning, so that vision may take its place. As a human being, you don't question that what you see has meaning. Your existence is based on the idea that this is your reality. Just as when you drop a stone on your foot, it will hurt you. This is the classical view of looking at the world. But there's a different way of looking at everything. In science, this is developed as quantum physics, a science that looks at everything in a whole different way. It sees on the level of the smallest parts of matter and its characteristics, as if you look through an ultra-magnifying glass. Let's start to consider Lesson 1. Both the lesson and quantum mechanics challenge the classical view that objects have inherent fixed properties. No longer will we see an object as a form with no relationship with its surroundings. Lesson 1 strips away the labels that we give objects. That is, this is a table, this is a body. It suggests that the meaning we see isn't in the object. It is a projection of our own minds. Without our measurement, judgment, the object has no inherent meaning in the way we define it. Lesson 2. I have given everything I see all the meaning that it has for me. From Lesson 51, the review lesson. Lesson 2. I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. I have judged everything I look upon, and it is this and only this I see. This is not vision. It is merely an illusion of reality because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. I'm willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgments because I want to see. My judgments have hurt me and I do not want to see according to them. In Lesson 2, the concept of authorship is added. While Lesson 1 says the screen is blank, Lesson 2 explains that you are the projector. This aligns with several advanced quantum theories regarding how reality is constructed. This is an example: the participatory universe. Physicist John Wheeler proposed that we live in a participatory universe. He suggests that the universe doesn't just exist out there independently, rather it requires an observer to participate in its creation to make it real. Lesson 2 of A Course in Miracles moves from passive observation to active responsibility. It suggests that the meaning or substance of what you see isn't a property of the object, but a result of your mental participation. You aren't just watching a world. You're literally making it into existence. This principle we will encounter in many lessons throughout A Course in Miracles. Lesson 3. I do not understand anything I see. From Review Lesson 51, Lesson 3. I do not understand anything I see. How could I understand what I see when I've judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thought. I do not understand what I see because it is not understandable. There's no sense in trying to understand it. But there's every reason to let it go and make room for what can be seen, understood and loved. I can exchange what I see now for this merely by being willing to do so. Is not this a better choice than the one I've made before? This shifts the focus from the source of meaning to the reliability of what we perceive and how. If Lesson 1 says the screen is blank and Lesson 2 says you are the projector, Lesson 3 points out that the projector is currently out of focus and the film is distorted. In quantum physics, this relates to how information is lost or altered when it interacts with messy environment. It settles into a rigid, classical state that doesn't reflect the full truth of the underlying reality. Lesson 3 is a direct admission of decoherence. Our current perception is so entangled with past judgment, ego fears, and physical biases that we can no longer see the true nature of what is in front of us. When we say, I don't understand, we are acknowledging that our mental signal is currently too noisy to perceive truth. Lesson 4. These thoughts do not mean anything. From the Review Lesson 51, Lesson 4. These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I'm aware do not mean anything because I'm trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. I'm not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place. I'm willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God. This is a major turning point. It applies the same logic from the first 3 lessons to your internal world. In quantum physics, this relates to quantum information theory, which suggests that the foundation of the universe isn't stuff, like atoms, matter, but bits of information. An example is the quantum fluctuation, the void of the mind. In the vacuum of space, particles are constantly popping in and out of existence. These are called quantum fluctuations. They aren't real in a permanent sense, they are just temporary ripples in a field. Lesson 4 asks you to watch your thoughts pass by like random ripples. By labeling them as meaningless, you treat them like these fluctuations. You recognize that a thought of anger or a thought of a cup is just a temporary ripple in the mind that doesn't have a solid permanent reality. In Lesson 4, you are moving toward the 0-point field. In physics, this is the lowest possible energy state where everything is still. By neutralizing your thoughts, they don't mean anything, you are attempting to bring your mind to a zero-point state where true creation can finally happen. Lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think. From the review, Lesson 51, Lesson 5. I am never upset for the reason I think. I'm never upset for the reason I think because I'm constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I'm constantly making them true. I make all things my enemies so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I've misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. I'm willing to let it go. Lesson 5 introduces a psychological principle that mirrors the second law of thermodynamics, entropy. In physics, entropy measures the amount of disorder or randomness in a system. Lesson 5 explains how our internal disorder, upset, is misdiagnosed by our conscious mind. The second law of thermodynamics states that in an isolated system, entropy, disorder, always increases over time. Things tend to fall apart, get messy, and move toward chaos, unless energy is used to organize them. We experience upset as a form of mental entropy. We usually blame the external reason for this chaos, that is, I'm upset because he was late. Lesson 5 argues that the upset isn't caused by the external event, but by the internal state of the system, the ego mind. The reason you think you are upset is just a label you've put on the pre-existing disorder in your mind. By realizing you don't know why you are upset, you stop trying to fix the world, the effect, and begin to look at the mind as the cause. This is like a physicist stopping the study of individual particles to look at the quantum field that generates them. To be continued.